Coach Ring, thank you for taking time with us off the block in between scrimmages today at SC. Let's start with what you have to replace from last season. The two biggest players obviously were Milos and Tanner. So first off, what are Milos and Tanner up to?
Yeah, both those guys graduated this last year. Milos was an engineering student at UCSD, and he's in a graduate program at University of Michigan. And then Tanner is always his goal and dream to go play professionally. So he's in Germany playing for, I believe, United Volleys in Frankfurt. So kind of getting into his pro debut. So I think he's off to a good start.
What will you miss most about Milos?
You know, just I mean, he was in our program for 4 years. Was kind of a primary starter for two and a half of those years. So just the experience, you know, and he's just really steady. I think he was a great kind of leader as a setter, you know, kind of commanded the offense. So you know, just that experience goes a long ways.
And then what will you miss most about Tanner?
You know, Tanner obviously was a two-time Division II Player of the Year, kind of all conference for us, and just his experience, the volume of swings you could feed him in and out of system, good from the service line. So, you know, that's, you know, we're pretty young and pretty inexperienced at the opposite position now. So it's kind of, you know, now it's time for the next crop of guys to kind of, you know, take their turn, you know, on the court at that position, the opposite position. So they've got a little ways to go, but I'm kind of pleased with the progress so far. But yeah, Tanner was a key offensive threat for us the last couple of years.
You're talking about your youth. I believe you only have 4 upperclassmen on your team, and most of your key contributors are still underclassmen. Talk about your lack of experience, and does that influence your expectations for the season?
You know, so yeah, this last year we graduated 7 players. You mentioned 2 of them, Milos and Tanner, but you know we had 5 others, and so out of those 7, 4 of them were primary starters for us for, you know, a good part of the season. So you lose that, and you know every team goes through it. You know, last year it was just us that happened to have so many guys kind of graduating. So you definitely that experience, and I think when we've been at our best over the years, like we've had a pretty experienced squad, and so we've got a ways to go with the young group. Yeah, I think our training so far this fall has been good. We've got a ways to go, and I think just every day they're kind of learning. A tournament like this is great for just to face someone on the other side of the net that just does things a little differently than maybe how we do it in our gym or running an offense. Yeah, so it's a little eye-opening for those guys. But as far as expectations, you know, we're competing in the Big West. We're going to have a really solid non-conference schedule, and yeah, I mean we want to be as competitive as ever.
We'll talk about a little bit more about the non-conference schedule, but back to your team. Who will you count on to be the leader of the team?
You know, it's probably have filling that role from a couple different guys. You know, Xander Jimenez, you know, is our redshirt junior but senior 4th-year player in our program. Will graduate this year. You know, he's been on the court for us a decent amount. Wyatt Harrison was a sophomore this year, but he got a fair amount of playing time. He was kind of all-conference freshman last year in the Big West. And then, you know, outside that, you know, just the setters a little bit. You know, whether it's Blake Crisp, we have another freshman, Berkeley Niesfield, and you know, Connor Walbrecht. So just those guys kind of taking command of the offense. I think we're definitely relying on them to do that.
Talking about your non-conference, because you definitely beefed up in that regard. You guys go out to Harvard and to the Chicago schools. How did this schedule come about?
You know, it's scheduling is very different now. You know, when we were in the MPSF and it's us and 11 other schools, you know, there's 22 of your conference matches kind of set up for you, and you just maneuver a few dates here and there, and then you get 6 non-conference to schedule. And now, Big West, we played 10 conference matches. That's up to 18 matches, non-conference matches to schedule. So it's a little bit more of a sort of a free-for-all, a lot of calls, emails, you know, back and forth, you know, trying to put together a schedule. But, you know, I've had conversations with, you know, Brian at Harvard, and, you know, we've been talking about trying to, hey, them come up out to our place and us go back there, and kind of worked out this year for us to go back there. We're also going to play Sacred Heart on that trip, and then going out and play in the Chicago schools, Lewis and Loyola. And then they'll be coming back to us the next year. So I think, you know, now that we have fewer conference matches, you know, being in the Big West, a smaller conference, it does give us more flexibility to play some, you know, teams outside the conference in other parts of the country. So I think it'll be good to kind of fun to get my Southern California guys, East Coast Chicago weather in January. So see how they hold up with the cold weather.
University have to be your annual match against Princeton in January, of course.
Right. Yep.
What would define a successful season for you?
I think I think you always try to look to some level of just, hey, what's our win-loss record, and I'm not one to say, hey, we're going to win this match and this one's a tougher match, and it's just about developing, having a young squad. We're going to try to get as far as we can with our fall training and really kind of be up and running and full speed or close to it at the start of the season. I think we've got the potential to knock some teams off, and I think we are going to be the underdog in a lot of matches we play, simply because of kind of our youth and inexperience. But I think guys are going to make some great strides in a very short amount of time, and so I'm excited about this season. I'm excited about the guys in our gym. We just finalized our roster last week, and so we kind of here's our group, and I think the guys are really motivated and to do well this season.
A couple more questions. This is our second year of the Big West Men's Volleyball as a conference. How do you approach this season as opposed to last season or last off season, where you coming into the Big West was a new thing?
Yeah, as far as who we play, we were playing all those schools when we were all part of the MPSF, so the things just like travel and who we're playing, that's not changing. Certainly the Big West schedule as it's set up, we're going to play a lot of the schools just back-to-back nights. So we're going to play late in the year. You've got Long Beach and Northridge, I think, is our final weekend. You've got Hawaii right at the end of our spring break, and so you're playing those teams just back-to-back nights. The Santa Barbara and Irvine matches, I think both us and then Irvine and Santa Barbara didn't have a whole lot of matches in February, so we actually moved some dates there. So those are split up a little bit, kind of interspersed with some of our non-conference matches. So you want to be as good as you can be in every match you play, and certainly putting a strong emphasis on preparation for the Big West matches. And then you really have, I think, in some ways, three little mini seasons within the entire season. So one is your non-conference schedule, one is your conference schedule, Big West, and then there's the conference tournament for the Big West. So those are kind of three segments, and you want to be playing our best volleyball at the end of the year at the conference tournaments, which will be hosted by Hawaii this year.
And final question, you signed one of the more highly touted incoming freshmen in Trenton history, and Blake Crisp. Can you tell us more about him and what his experience on the junior national team has brought him?
Yeah, he's played at a high level. He's played with very good players. He's, I think, a very strong setter. Can set a variety of sets from anywhere on the court. Good tempo to the pins. Good running the middle from off the net. His experience with kind of the USA Volleyball and in that pipeline. He's played with, he's been coached by a variety of different guys. He's played with different players. So I think that only helps him. So now he comes into our gym, and now he's going to have kind of a core group of guys he's going to play with. He's going to be able to rely on that experience from the other teams and other coaches he's worked with. And so we're excited. We've only kind of been training for maybe a month total this fall, and I think he's made some nice strides, and it's been great to have him in the program.
Well, thank you, Coach Room, for taking time with us, and we wish you nothing but the best in the 2019 season.
Great, thank you.